What is up everyone, Barricade here, and I'm bringing you guys a unusual video, to be honest. This video isn't going to be like a Gears of War lore, or Gears of War news video, or even anything relevant to the series right now. This is actually just a discussion video that I just randomly thought of, and I felt like I just wanted to talk about it. It felt like something really interesting to me. And that is just imagine if the Locusts were real. And what I mean by that is imagine if like the events of Gears of War happened on our planet. You know, just one day out of nowhere, these creatures just rise out of the earth and just start slaughtering everyone. They just come out of every major city in the world, because that was the thing that made the Locusts so menacing in the story. Because when they first appeared on E-Day, they didn't just come out in one city. They didn't just come out in a few major cities. No, they popped out in multiple major cities in their world. Just all over. Just imagine one day, you know, you're just having a normal day at work, or a normal day, a day off from work, or going to school if you're younger, and I don't know, you just hear on the news that these things just come out of the ground, just came out of the ground, and started slaughtering people. And you just hear on the news, you know, no matter what channel you flip through on the TV, you just see these things killing everyone. You know, people freaking out. What are these things? What's going on? And not only the locusts, you know, just the humanoid drones. You see corpsers. You see wretches. You see freaking reavers. You see all these unbelievable things that you never fathomed before, just coming out of the ground and murdering everyone in sight. What would you do? At that point, what would you do? Would you try to make it home? Would you try to stay somewhere safe? Or would you just risk your life trying to get to your family, knowing that you could possibly run into these things? Personally, I would. If I was at work and I saw, you know, that they just randomly told us, you know, that these random things are killing people, and, you know, I know that my family, you know, was on the other side of the city, because unfortunately for me, if this happened at a day when I was at work, it would be quite a commute and quite a big risk for me to try to go home, due to the fact that my work is about like 40 minutes from my house. So imagine me trying to drive home knowing that these things are wandering around the city, you know, coming out of the ground. You know, they could even pop up on the highway. I take the highway to go home. So imagine like I would freaking be scared out of my mind, like trying to drive on the highway, and then out of nowhere the highway just breaks open and you just see a bunch of drones coming out of it. It would just be so insane. And the thing that actually scares me, like, I know it's just fictional, but I always like imagine stuff like this, and I've even had like crazy dreams about stuff like this, because personally I like the series and I love Gears of War. It's my favorite game. But the thing about the Locusts is, even though they just seem like, to some people they may just seem like dumb monsters, you know, looking lizard looking human things running around with guns. Personally, I find these creatures really menacing and very demented and dark. And while there's just a game, you know, it's just a game, and I shoot them, I chainsaw them, I curb stomp them, whatever, I personally find them extremely interesting, not to mention very scary at the in the thought that they would be real. And it would just be so crazy, you know, so hectic if all that stuff was happening, like basically just E-Day, but in our world. Major cities being attacked, multiple armies trying to fight them, and just being completely overrun by these things. And the thing is, though, personally, from my personal opinion, if this happened, if this was real, and the locusts emerged from the ground, let's say tomorrow, and started slaughtering everyone, we would be so screwed. Honestly, I don't think we would be able to fight them off. The thing is, the reason why the COG and the other, you know, human armies in the world were able to ward them off for so long before they even had to use the Hammer of Dawn on them was due to the fact that they were an extremely powerful army. The COG fought the UIR for 79 years, and they were an extremely powerful army that had way better weaponry, way better, you know, things that we don't even have, that we can't even fathom. So for us, normal humans, you know, people that just have normal guns, that don't have chainsaw wielding lancers, that don't have freaking super crazy huge buff soldiers that can freaking stomp someone's head off, for an army that doesn't have something as powerful as a Hammer of Dawn, we would be so completely defenseless against these things. And that's just not just the normal drones with guns. You know, we're not just defenseless against them, you know, who are crazy, overpowered, highly trained, unhuman creatures that fight with normal guns. I'm talking about the extra things that we'd have to worry about. What will we do against things like wretches, or a berserker, or the krill? We would be so unbelievably outmatched against these things. there is nothing we would be able to do against something like the Krill. You know what I mean? When it comes to certain fictional creatures, certain fictional enemies, like let's say like The Walking Dead or zombie stories, they are crazy and they take over the world as well. But at least zombies aren't smart. At least zombies, if you're in a house and you barricade yourself, you're good. You know what I mean? You can survive for a long time. Like in the world of The Walking Dead, you see people surviving together in packs and they hide either in houses or parts of the forest, etc., etc. Can you do that against something like the Locust? Hell no. If I came home and tried to stay here knowing that those things are running around with crazy weaponry blowing people up, there is nothing I would be able to do against them. You know what I mean? I don't have any weapons. I don't have any strength. I don't have any extra power that would be able to match them. I don't have that type of strength. I'm a normal guy. I'm pretty strong, but against a freaking 6 foot locust carrying a hammer burst or a freaking berserker, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do against those type of things. And then, like I said, it's not even just that. Like, imagine you trying to stay home, trying to be quiet, trying to be safe in your home, and then it gets dark, and then boom, freaking krill start flying through the window, or a wretch sneaks into your home. What are you gonna do against something like that? And it's not even just for untrained people like myself, just a normal person who's never used real weapons and guns and stuff like that. Even our armies would be so completely outmatched. If you look in Gears of War, one things that would make us so completely outmatched is like things like the Brumacs or the Corpsers or even the Reavers. We have powerful tanks, yes. We have great, air forces. We have, nukes and stuff like that. But what the hell is like a normal army, a normal group of soldiers gonna do if a Brumac comes out of nowhere? Or a berserker. It's just crazy. It's just unbelievable. It's just kind of scary to imagine. And just imagine, like, even if we had our most powerful weaponry aimed at a Brumac, do you think we would even be able to kill a Brumac? Like, I'm not saying a nuke wouldn't be able to kill a Brumac. Obviously, if we use nukes, we can wipe out a bunch of the locusts. But imagine just like normal soldiers with just like rocket launchers, snipers, or whatever, even our most powerful weapons that our normal soldiers use. They're not going to be able to take down a Brumac or a Berserker. Or like if you see like Reavers, you know what I mean? Imagine normal, like the Air Force flying in the sky trying to fight the Locusts, and they're being chased down by Reavers, or even Nemesis. The thing that actually makes the Nemesis so damn bad, if you don't know what Nemesis are, they're the ones that the Cedars shoot out in the air, the weird little flying blob things the ones that knocked down the helicopter before Rom killed Min. Like those things are so crazy because they're living, they can move in crazy directions. So imagine like normal air forces trying to fight stuff like that, or reavers, you know what I mean? It's just we would be so completely outclassed. And that's another thing that like I just kind of wanted to talk about, because people say that the cog soldiers, like in like fictional versus matches or whatever, they say cog soldiers are weak, that they're normal, they're like they can't do nothing. And yes, against certain other fictional characters that are like unbelievably powerful, like characters like Master Chief or like crazy other characters that are sci-fi armies, yeah, they can't keep up with characters like that. But compared to normal soldiers, the cog army is actually like extremely powerful. The weaponry they have, the weapons they have, the air forces they have, everything that they have is just far greater than that of normal means. And we are not even anywhere close to the level of the Cog's weaponry. We don't have something as powerful as the Hammer of Dawn. And I think that actually makes it kind of scary too when you think about it, is the fact that even though the Cog were that powerful of soldiers, they had such an amazingly powerful army, it only took them like over a year or so before they realized that they were completely screwed and they had to use the Hammer of Dawn. They were only able to ward off the Locust for over a year before they realized that they were done and that the only option they had was the Hammer of Dawn to nuke like over 90% of the planet with it and try to take the Locust with it. And we don't have nothing like that. So if we were, let's just say, we're able to ward them off for over a year, what would we do then? We would be so screwed. There's like nothing we can do against the creatures of the Locust Horde. And people like me, people like you, are just normal people that are not even trained soldiers, trained fighters, would be completely doomed. Because the thing that's actually crazy is, when we play Gears of War, the Locust seems so small and weak compared to us. Because we're a big old Marcus Phoenix, we're Dominic Santiago, and we can chainsaw them, have curb stomp them, and we're like the same height as like a normal drone. A normal drone is not short. A normal drone is like probably like at least like 5, 6 feet tall with the freaking. I'm thinking over 6 feet, honestly. And they're freaking huge. They're powerful. They have a bunch of guns. And you know, if you had just a normal group of people trying to survive, like let's say in a forest or something, Walking Dead style, and they run across like at least even a small group of drones, like let's say it was just like 4 drones, they would be completely screwed. There's nothing they would be able to do. And I know I feel like I'm kind of just rambling on and on, but I was just thinking about that earlier today, that what would we do if the locusts were real? We would try to fight them. People would try to survive. But honestly, I believe after not even a year, it wouldn't even take a year. It'd probably just take several months before the locusts completely overran us and completely wasted our resources in infantry. There's nothing that we have that can compete with things like berserkers, brumacs, carpsers, or krill. We would just be completely outclassed. And then if we have someone like Scourge running around with the freaking riftworms seeking cities, then we're just even worse. You know, there's nothing. The locusts are a completely menacing army that we, as normal people, would have no chance against. And it's just kind of a scary thought to think about. But anyways, guys, if you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me what you guys think about this whole situation. What would you do if the locusts were real? That's just scary. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see my most recent Dragon Ball video, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.